You ready?
Ten, 9, 8, 7,
sorry about the legs there.
6, 5, 4,
It's Tuesday.
3, 2,
On the turbo.
1, go.
Go in for that as usual. Tuesday night. Recovery right tonight. Nothing too serious. Some nice little builds up to 100% FTP in the middle. And then we start winding it back down to finish. Nice steady hour. Not too hard, like I said. That's it. All strapped in, ready to go. That's it. Warmer up now for another 4.5 minutes. Taking it nice and handy. We're building for 45% FTP, so effort level 1 up to 60%, up to about 2 or 3, up to maybe 4. Taking it nice and handy. We're going to do that quite quick and progressive over the next 4 minutes. So nice and steady to start, in and around 45% FTP, effort level 1. Building up nice and quick over those 4 minutes, up to 60%. Then we're going to hold it steady at 60%, still part of the warm-up. That's going to get us to just below 10 minutes. And then we're going to go off at 75%. Then we have 85%. Then we have 3 by 100% FTP for 1 minute. 30-second recovery. You're going to get a few minutes recovery after that. And then 3 minutes, 100% FTP hold. And then we start winding it back down the very same as we start. Nice simple session tonight. Everything is at 90 RPM, 90 cadence. That you build into it and settle in nicely. As I said, we're building ourselves up from 50% there now, 3 minutes, up to 60%. Then we're going to hold it steady. Just take it nice and handy for this first 3 minutes and then hold it at 60%. Effort level 4.5 or 5, I suppose, when you get to that 60%. 90 RPM. So try work on your cadence tonight. 90 RPM all the way through. Not going to vary, it's just a nice addition and recovery set. Rebuild the body after a big weekend. That's it, nice and handy. 2.5 minutes to go before we hold at 60%. We're up around 53% FTP there now. That's it, keep your control. 90 RPM. So cadence has been unnecessarily a problem, but if you find a higher cadence hard, tonight is the night you can work on it. Like I said, we're going at 90 RPM. Like the right Karen here, who's just a bit over her FTP at the moment, she could go to an easier gear, just pedal out that bit faster. We won't have to be going chasing that higher power and the bigger FTP all the time. Nice and recovered, nice and easy now tonight. You might see at the top it's only a 53. Training stress score, 73% intensity. So like I said, nothing too hard tonight, just recovery, conditioning. A couple of little sprints thrown in, FTP efforts of 1 minute. Just to keep it. Just to liven it up a small bit in the middle there before we start bringing it back down to level. 57% FTP now. 50 seconds to go before we hold at 60. We're going to do that for a few minutes then. They say that's going to bring us to 10 minutes, give or take. We're heading into 75% FTP. We're holding that again for a period of time. And you'll notice that we'll do 75% Then we do 85%, but we're holding at 85 for a shorter period of time. Then we have those 3 little intervals, and then we hold our 100% for a shorter period of time again.
Next hold at 60% effort 4 to 590 RPM.
So 60% FTP, effort level 4 to 5, still part of the warm up. 90 RPM if you can bring it to that and hold it there.
Now hold at 60% effort 4 to 590 RPM.
That's it, 4 minutes. Nice and consistent. That pedaling rhythm set so you know what you're walking after the whole night. Nice and control, 60%. Effort level 4 or 5. Should be quite easy at the moment, it's still only part of the warm up. That's it, 90 RPM. If 90 is still a bit of a struggle, try and have it around 85 if you can. We've got 60% FTP, holding that for just over 3 minutes now. This is a nice steady control session tonight. So we would have done a longer session. Higher pain and stress on Sunday, next few days recovery, higher intensity. So today we lessen all that down, we get the recovery in, get ourselves ready then for Thursday night. Some bigger intervals. And we get ready then to hit the turbo again, go along again on Sunday. 2.5 minutes, nice and handy, 60% FTP, 90 RPM. Effort level 4 to 5. And remember on Sunday we had our power cut. We had to work on our perceived effort level. No computers in front of us, no gauges. So again, if you want, cover over the computer, work on your perceived effort. Just let it be recorded in the background, don't look at it. So we're saying effort level 4 to 5 and 90 RPM. Try and know what that feels like. Some nights doing your 75 or 85 FTP or your 100 FTP just might be that bit too hard for that night. You feel like you're at an effort level 10, well then you just have to dial it back a bit. Okay, 1.5 minutes to go. We're going to just dial it back a small bit then before we kick it back up. And hold that effort then, it's going to be a nice steady effort all the way through. Like I said, 90 RPM, 90 cadence.
One minute.
There you go, 1 minute to go. Nice and steady on the saddle. Nice and relaxed. Legs not going too fast, you're looking for in and around 90. Nice comfortable cadence. That's it, right on, 30 seconds to go. And you're just going to just wind it back, dial it back a small bit. Nice and handy, 50%. And then we're going to build it up to 75. Just whenever choose the night here. Cycle studio.
Next hold at 50%.
That's it. Keep it going now, 10 seconds still at 60. Nice and relaxed, as I said. This is still part of the warm up.
Now hold at 50%.
Just backing off slightly. Nice and handy. Making sure everything's alright. Comfortable on the saddle. Shoes are tight enough. That's it, we'll just dial it back small bit. So we're going up to 75% FTP to start.
Next hold at 75% effort 6.5 90 RPM.
Effort 6.5, 90 RPM, 75% FTP. We're going to hold that.
Now
Hold
hold
that
at
for 6
75%
minutes.
effort 6.5 90
Down
RPM.
a couple of gears, put on a bit of resistance. Keep the legs turning over nice and quick. 90 RPM, same as we had. Bring it up to 75% FTP. 6.5 on your effort scale. Again, don't be looking to go too hard. We had a big session at the weekend. You have to get that recovery. And over the legs, nice and comfortable. Wind into this. Then you'll have your 100% FTPs coming up. You get to push it out and then wind it back out. That's it, nice and controlled. This is a great chance now tonight to keep it controlled, keep it relaxed, getting that cadence right. Effort level 6.5, 90 RPM. %75% FTP. Nice and smooth, that's it. That's it, nice and easy, nice and easy. You can relax, keep laying on top over here behind the shoulder. Should see you counting down. Nothing out of 4 minutes, just over 4 minutes to go. You see the graph moving along into those highlighted sections, little red line going through it. Hopefully you can see it. Still holding at 75%. The effort level 6.5, 90 RPM. Keep it nice and easy, that's it, relaxed all the way through. You get to work on your consistency, your pedaling stroke, your breathing, your position on the bike. Hold that effort, 90%, 90 RPM at 75% FTP. That's it, nice and easy. Just over 3 minutes to go. That's it, well done. Keep it in control, don't push it too hard. Keep that cadence higher, 85 to 90. That's it, settle into that nice rhythm. Well done. 2.5 minutes to go. Hold it steady. Then you're going to get a small little breather. We want to move it on up. That's it, nice and relaxed. It's all about consistency and recovery tonight. Working on that lower heart rate as well. Building the conditioning and fitness into the system. Low training stress score keeps the heart rate low. Doesn't have you working too hard at any point. Just going to help build that aerobic fitness, that baseline fitness that you need. Just remember, there's no point in pushing hard every night. So we had an epic 3 hour on Sunday. plenty of drama in it. This is your recovery. Alright, 75% FTP still, 90 RPM, effort level 6.5. Nice and control. That's it. 1 minute to go.
1 minute.
Again, still make sure to keep drinking plenty of fluids. We feel getting a lot warmer here in the studio. That's it, well done. Just over 30 seconds to go. Still holding at 75%. Nice and controlled. Same rhythm as when we started. RPM if you can. We're going to work on that cadence tonight. The cadence speed up.
Next recover.
Hold it steady all the way along. Winding down in 7 seconds. That's it, keep it relaxed. There we are, 50%.
50%
FTP.
FTP.
Nice and gentle. We can off the resistance down a couple of gears. Keep the leg speed up around 85-90. 50% FTP. It's only going to last a minute. The recovery. And we're winding up to 85%. That's it. Good job. 30 seconds to go. Keep that cadence up a small bit, 50% FTP.
Next hold at 85% effort, 7.590 RPM.
We are going to wind it up now again in 10 seconds. You'll be able to see that warrant over my shoulder. The instructions 85% FTP, 7.5 effort.
Hold at 85%
90
effort,
RPM.
7.590 RPM.
Now probably 1 gear harder. Little further resistance, a bit more than you had previous. 90 RPM. Just under 5 minutes to go. That's it. Well done. Into that rhythm nice and quick. And hold it steady now for 4.5 minutes. .90 RPM, 85% FTP. Nice and controlled. Well done. Four minutes to go, 85%. Average level 7.5, 90 RPM. As I said, it's a bit shorter than we had in the last one. Each of the blocks gets shorter. That's it. 85%, not too hard. 90 RPM. It's only a 7.5 effort. That's it, nice and good. The heart rate stay nice and low. Not pushing the big gear or high resistance. Still turning over nice and comfortable, should be really at the top. That's it, nice rhythm on the legs. Keep the knees tucked in, elbows relaxed. Keep an eye on that screen behind me. Nice and smooth, that's it. The session passes by really quick. That's it, 90 RPM, nice steady cadence all the way through. Try to be consistent with it. Try to feel like you're holding the same effort all the way, same cadence. That's it, well done. Keep going. Go over 2 minutes. Effort 7, 7.5, 90 RPM. 85% FTP. Well done, that's it, focus on that rhythm. You hear the sound of the turbo. Making the same noise, that's how you'll know you're doing the same thing. Breathing should be comfortable and controlled. That's it, 1.5 to go. Give it a small little reprieve. We're going to wind it up. 100% FTP. Effort level 8 for 1 minute. That's it, nicely done. That's it, 1 minute to go.
1 minute.
Still at 85% FTP, 90 RPM, effort level 7, 7.5. Keep the control, well done. Keep going, take your drink. That's it, stay focused. You're already there, 30 seconds. Let me wind it down for 30. We'll bring it up for a minute. Well done, 20 seconds to go. Heart rate still nice and low.
Next hold at 50% recover.
Still at 85% for 10 seconds. This whole session time is at 90 RPM if you can.
Now hold at 50% recover.
That's it, get off the resistance really quick. It's only 30 seconds. That's it, we're going to wind it right up.
Next
Effort
hold
level 8.
100% FTP 90 RPM effort 8.
And ready to go. 3, 2, 1.
Now 100% FTP 90 RPM effort 8.
As long as you're harder than you were at. 90%, 90 RPM, 100% FTP. Effort level 8.
Next hold at 55% recover 90 RPM.
That's it. Keep going. All the way through. 55% coming up. 2,
Now hold
1.
at 55%
Don't even
recover
change
90
gears, just keep
RPM.
it nice and handy. Just back off the effort for the 30 seconds. You want to pick it back up for the same time, 30 seconds.
Next 100% FTP 90 RPM effort 8.
That's it, you're still recovering, 10 seconds to go. Still holding at 50%. Off we go, ready to go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Off you go, 100%.
100%
Effort
FTP
level 8,
90
30
RPM
seconds.
effort 8.
That's it, nice and steady.
Next hold at 55% recover 90 RPM.
Still at 100%, 10 seconds to go. Well done. Keep it there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now hold
Wind it
at
down, that's it.
55% recover 90 RPM.
Just turn the legs over. So short, it's not worth changing gears for. Just wind down the effort for 30 seconds.
Next 100% FTP 90 RPM effort 8.
Last one of this half. Coming up. In 5 seconds. 100% for 30 seconds. 2, 1. Off you go.
100% FTP 90 RPM effort 8.
That's it. Keep going, 20 seconds.
Next hold at 55%, recover 90 RPM.
Keep going, 10 seconds to go. Nearly there. Still at 100. 5, 4, nice quick legs. 3, 2, and 1.
Now hold at 55%, recover 90 RPM.
Now you can take off the resistance, change the gears, do a few minutes easy.
Next hold at 50%, recover.
That's it, we're staying at the recovery, 50%. That's it, we're staying there, 50%, 90 RPM.
Now
Keep it
hold
nice
at
and relaxed.
50%, recover.
2 minutes. And then we're going for 3 minutes at 100% FTP, effort level 8, 90 RPM, same as you just did, just doing it for 3 minutes. That's it, nice and smooth, keep the legs turning over easy. 50% FTP, this is all about recovery, low stress, low intensity. Voila. Keeping it smooth. That's it, just over a minute to go. In your recovery, still at 50%, 90 RPM or so, nice and easy. Really gentle pedaling. Keeping the control. We head into 3 minutes at 100%. That's it, nicely done. Taking your time, and it's all about recovery. That's it, 30 seconds to go. Still recovering, still taking it easy. Legs turning over, nice and smooth. Nice steady rhythm. You're going to be doing the same cadence when you head into this next one. Just going to increase
Next
your
hold
effort
at
level.
100% effort, 890 RPM.
100% FTP. We're going in 7 seconds, effort level 8, 90 RPM. We're going to go down 2 or 3 gears.
Now hold at 100%
Turn on a bit of resistance. 3 minutes to go. Keep it nice and smooth all the way through. That's it. 100%. 100% FTP, effort level 8. 90 RPM, give or take. It's only one block of this, so nice and steady. Should feel comfortable. Heart rate's going to climb a small bit, not too much. Not working the body too hard now tonight. Hold on, that's it. Just over 2 minutes to go. There we are now, 2 minutes, 100% FTP. Effort level 8, 90 RPM if you can. Nice quick cadence. Find that rhythm. RPM should be 85 to 90 as a cadence. To be able to hold consistently if you can actually do it. It's a nice efficient cadence. That should produce plenty of power. Working the gears in the middle of the block. Not too high a resistance at any time. That's it. Nearly there, just over a minute to go.
1 minute.
1 minute, well done. 100%, effort level 8. Still at 90 RPM or so. That's it. Hold it steady, 45 seconds. Alright, man, it's time, but don't worry. This is the hardest section of the session tonight. 30 seconds. That's it, keep it up. You're already there, 100% FTP. Never down away. 90 RPM. Still going, 10 seconds to go. 30 minutes done, we're halfway through. 2, 1.
Recover. 50%
recover.
FTP.
3-minute recovery. Nice and relaxed. That's it. Sure you turn on the fan. We're open the windows and the doors. It's getting warm. 2.5 minutes, got plenty to drink. That's it, heart rate dropping quite quick. Right back to recovery. 50% FTP, 90 RPM, nice and gentle. That's it, 2 minutes. Practically on the way home now during the session. We're over halfway. We're in the recovery, 2 minutes to go. 50% FTP. Effort level 2, virtually no effort. Taking it relaxed. Nice and smooth, 90 RPM. Well done. We'll go back into 3 by 100% FTP. Same recovery, same effort, same recovery. Then we're back into 85, 75, 60. We're feeling passing quite quick, just over a minute recovery to go. Nice and gentle. There we are, heart rate right back down again.
One minute.
1 minute, 90 RPM, 50% FTP. Nice and gentle. The legs turning over. Very little resistance, very little effort. And drop that heart rate, keep it low. Work the recovery on the legs. We're building that fitness then all the time as well. You want to build your cardio fitness as well, it's not just about recovery. Recovery is where you're going to get the adaptations and changes from Sunday's session. Can't keep pushing it hard every night.
Next 100% FTP 90 RPM effort 8.
As I said, 1 and 3. Nice and short. Down a couple of gears, get ready for turning on a bit of resistance. 3, 2, 1, off you go.
100% FTP 90 RPM effort 8.
That's it. 30 seconds long is all. 90 RPM, 90%, 100% FTP.
55% recover 90 RPM.
That's it. Nice and smooth, effort level 8. Holding it all the way through. 5 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. There we are, we're down. Don't even change gears. Turn the legs a bit slower. And wind down that effort. Those efforts are so short, it doesn't even give the heart rate time to come up.
Next 100% FTP 90 RPM effort 8.
Same again now in 10 seconds. 100% FTP, 90 RPM. Effort level 8. Off you go. There we are, 30 seconds.
FTP 90 RPM effort 8.
Give it up, get the legs back to 90 RPM. Same effort as before. That's it. Engage it well, same effort as before.
Next hold at 55%, recover 90 RPM.
Still holding at that 100%, 10 seconds. That's it, keep going. Nice and smooth. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now hold at 55%, recover 90 RPM.
50% FTP. Nice and handy. 20 seconds to go. You've got one more little interval left. Again, hard to extend nice and low.
100% FTP, 90 RPM, effort 8.
We're going in 10 seconds. 100%, same as before. 90 RPM, 100% FTP. Effort level 8. In 3, 2, start winding it up. 1. There you go, same as before.
FTP, 90 RPM, effort 8.
Don't go pushing it out too far. You're going to have to do 150%, 90 RPM, 100% FTP, 15 seconds to go, that's it. Hold it steady all the way, 10 seconds to go. That's it. 7, keep going, 5, nice and steady, 3, 2, all the way in, 1.
Hold at 55%, recover 90 RPM.
That wasn't too bad, was it? 30-second recovery. You want to go back to 85% now?
Next hold at 85%, effort 7.5, 90 RPM.
Same as you did in the first half of the session. So you have an easier gear, easier resistance to
Hold
run.
at 85%, effort 7.5, 90 RPM.
85% FTP, 90 RPM. This is where it gets hard, where you want to start pushing it on a small bit. Try and resist that urge to do it. Keep it nice and controlled. Consistency is key. 4.5 minutes. 85% FTP. 90 RPM. Try and keep your cadence the same. Doesn't matter if you don't have a cadence sensor. Just try and focus on that rhythm. The music on in the background. Focus on the beat of that music. See your legs turning over at the same rate all the time. 85%. 90 RPM. That's it. Nice and controlled. Keep her going. 4 minutes. Right on. Nicely does it. Nice and smooth. RPM, 85% FTP. Effort level 7.5. As I said, this is where it gets hard. You tend to push it on a bit harder than you did in the last block, because after doing those 100% intervals, 85 just feels a bit easier. I think you can push it harder. That's fine, but this is a recovery session. You want to start winding it up during the week now for the higher intensity stuff. Higher stress score on Thursday, higher intensity. We get ready then for the weekend, another big ride this weekend, another big run. That's it. And hold it steady, 85%. 90 RPM. Nice and controlled, 4.5 minutes. That's it, well done. Keep it going. That's it, nice and controlled, 85%, effort level 7.5. 2 minutes to go, hold it steady. 90 RPM, focus on that rhythm, that cadence. Find something around you with the same rhythm, beat the music. Focus on that. Hold it steady then all the way. Good job, that's it. Seconds to go. Hold and steady. That's it. Nice and controlled. Well done. $40 done. Nice and smooth. We're not killing ourselves tonight. 90 RPM. That's it. All about consistency tonight. Holding that cadence, holding that rhythm.
1 minute.
For a chunk of time, 5 to 6 minutes, nice and steady. Our guys are still low, we're still doing that aerobic fitness. $35 seconds, that's it, keep going. Nice and steady all the way to the end. 90 RPM, whatever rhythm you have. That's what you're going to hold for 30 seconds. That's it, nice and consistent, well done. Effort level 7.5.
Next recovered.
Still going. 10 seconds to go. 85% still. 90 RPM, don't ease off the pedals yet. 4, 3, 2, and 1. There we are.
50% FTP.
2 minute recovery. 50% FTP. It's nice and easy. That's it. Would you like to turn it over nice and gentle? Heart rate dropping right back down again. That's it, not long to go, 90 seconds and we're building it back up. This time we're going to 75%. Well done. Nice and easy. Nice easy here, 90 RPM. Getting the legs back up to speed. Keeping the resistance easy. Keeping the power easy, 50% FTP, 90 RPM. That's it, nice and controlled. Everything nice and relaxed. Shoulders relaxed, there goes bent. Knees moving in a nice solid, straightforward motion. You're pumping up and down nice and relaxed. Should be bouncing on the saddle, should be able to get some nice big deep breaths in, fill the lungs. Keep everything nice and controlled, that's it. 25 seconds, you start winding it up. As we drop the intensity, we're going to 75%.
Next hold at 75% effort, 6.590 RPM.
That's it, if you can hear that, 75% FTP. Effort level 6.5, 90 RPM. We're heading off in 5, 3, 2, 1. That's it.
Down hold at 75%
Down a couple of gears, put on a bit of resistance.
6.590 RPM.
90 RPM, 75% FTP. Effort level 6.5. That's it, nice and easy. Should be easier than you were at the last one. We got just under 6 minutes. It feels easier than the last effort, it should do. We've come down, effort level 6.5. 75% FTP, 90 RPM. That's it, we're just extending the time out a small bit. Nice to control. That's it. 5 minutes to go. 75% FTP, effort level 6.5. Shouldn't be hard. Make sure you turn it over nice and comfortable. 5 minutes, that's it. Nice and controlled. This should just be a nice smooth session all the way through. focus on the legs, on that rhythm. Keep the knees tucked in, nice and straight, keeping everything relaxed. That's it. Legs should be powering away, very little effort. Level 6.5, 75% FTP. We're at 90 RPM, so it's not too much resistance, not too high a gear. That's it, just cruising along. More minutes. That's it, keeping it consistent now. Hold on. Take 1/2 minutes to go, 90 RPM, 75% FTP. That's it, it's in control. Minutes to go, 90 RPM. Still holding at 75%, effort level 6.5. Should be relatively easy. Cruising along. Heart rate holding steady. That's it. Nicely done. And we've come down a small bit from 85 to 75. We've added on a bit of time, so we're just holding that effort further along. That's it, nice and controlled now. 2.5 minutes. Hold that rhythm steady now for the next 2.5 minutes. Keeping it relaxed. Should be feeling easier. Not looking to push it out tonight. That's it, 75%. Level down to 6.5. Keep your control, that's it. Hands nice and relaxed on the handlebars. Shoulders relaxed, elbows bent. That's it, legs turning over nice and quick, 90 RPM. Well done. 75% FTP. All about control tonight. That's it, nice and smooth. Effort level 6.5. Don't be pushing it out, don't be inclined. Or don't be thinking you want to go harder. You can plenty of that on Thursday night. But plenty of bigger efforts, higher intensity efforts. You're looking for more speed, more cadence, more power. Tonight it's just about holding steady. With the recovery in, build up that fitness. With the heart rate working nice and steady all the way along. That's where you push out your zones. That's where you get the improvement. Super job, well done. Right there, 30 seconds to go, 75%. Effort level 6.5. Sure you keep drinking. Plenty of fluids in, 90 RPM. Say it's all back off now.
Next hold at 50%
15 seconds to go. That's it, nice and control. Keeping everything relaxed. Easing off in 2, 1.
Down hold at 50% recover.
There you go, 1 minute recovery. 50%, and we're going to hold it at 60%, and we're going to wind it down. So we come up on to 50 minutes done. That's the bulk of the session. Just going to cruise it in home now. Nice and relaxed. So 50% FTP. Effort should be really easy. Around about 90 RPM. Just going to pick it up ever so slightly. Same as we did at the start, we're going to hold it at 60.
Next hold at 65% effort 590 RPM.
Effort level 5, not in hard, 65%. 90 RPM. Few minutes in that as well. 5 minutes to go.
65% effort 590 RPM.
Just turn on a bit of resistance, get the legs back up to speed. 90 RPM, 65%. Should feel easy. That's it. I want to just cruise it out now for the next 5 minutes. 90 RPM, 65%. I don't want too high a gear. I don't want too much resistance. That's it. Nice and control. Nice steady rhythm. 90 RPM, well done. Holding it steady for just over 4 minutes. You can see by the graph behind me then, it dips down. Very easy session tonight. Nice and relaxed, nice and comfortable. As I said, it was all about consistency. 90 RPM all the way through. Heart rates for everyone should be lower. You work out all that lactic acid and fatigue built up over the weekend's training. 65% FTP, 90 RPM. That's it, holding nice and steady in control. Just a nice steady rhythm. That's it, well done. Easing it down. Should be feeling really easy now at this stage. Plenty of fluids, keep them drinking. Remember to get another bottle when you're finished. Very important if you sweat a lot, and you want to sweat a lot indoors on turbo. You drink plenty of fluids, even add in a salt tablet. Mix it in or like sachet or something with it. Just to replace all those salts. That's it, 2.5 minutes at 65%. Nice and easy. We're just winding up the session now, 7 minutes to go. That's it, we wind it out, close it home. Nice and relaxed. Like I said, it's only a 53 stress score, 73% intensity. Nothing too difficult tonight. All about recovery, base fitness. I'm winding up first tonight. I'm going to get some nice interval sets in there. I'm going to push it out a bit more. That's it, keep it controlled now. As I said, we're just winding it out now for the end of this session. There's about 6 minutes left for the night. We're at 90 RPM. We're at 65% FTP at the moment, then we're going to start winding it right down. Taking it really easy. Heart rate should be still dropping. Nice and relaxed. Plenty of air coming in. That's it. And you keep it easy, 65%. The next 5 minutes or so, trying to focus on that cadence, 90 RPM.
1 minute.
We're going to have virtually no resistance. It's going to be very easy for the last bit. We're going to focus on that cadence, keep the control, no bouncing on the saddle, holding that core in nice and tight, keeping it smooth. Well done, that's it. Still at 65%, nice and handy. RPM, 65%, effort level 5.
Next 55% dropping to 45%.
6, we're going to back it off ever so slightly again. 55% dropping down. Just hold it nice and steady all the way through, like I said, 90 RPM.
Now 55% dropping to 45%.
Just going to reinforce that recovery. Keep the legs turning over nice and quick, nice and relaxed. Try and have them around 90 RPM if you can. Keep that power down though, 50%. Give or take, dropping 55 to 45, 4 minutes. Nice and handy. That's it, we wind down the session. Heart rate's on the floor, there should be no jiggy legs tonight. We didn't go too hard. Just a nice recovery spin. Massive, dropping it down nice and easy now. 50 odd percent. 90 RPM, keep the legs just nice and smooth. No resistance. Very easy gear. Sitting up nice and tall on the bike. Keeping everything relaxed. Well on. So nice deep breaths in, controlled breathing. That's it, that'll help slow the heart rate. Well on, 90 RPM, keeping it easy still. As you drop in under 50% FTP. That's it. As the resistance comes off and you go to the easier gears, try not to be bouncing on the saddle. It's only going to feel harder to hold it at 90 RPM. That's it. Nice and handy, heart rate's dropping. That's it, controlled. Nice and smooth. That's it, 2 minutes to go. Just wind it out now, nice and easy. 50% FTP, 90 RPM. We'll go again Thursday night, 7 PM. We'll do a set of intervals, a bit more intensity in it, a bit more effort in it. Make sure you drink plenty of fluids, plenty of water. Ready to go at 7. As I said, we're going to do that intensity Thursday night. And push it out just a small bit harder. Well, we'll wind it down in the last 90 seconds. If you're looking for that recovery session anytime again, you'll find it on the Facebook page. Or drop over to YouTube. You'll find it on the YouTube channel. Nice recovery session, ease out the legs. Get yourself ready for some harder work midweek.
1 minute.
Try not to do two very hard sessions back to back. Then we do the recovery in between. And for some of us, we'll be trying to balance a bit of running in there as well. That's it, here they are. Another 35 seconds or so to finish out your hour. Nice and handy. Cadence 90. You can relax for 30 seconds, that's it. We've said Thursday night, going for intervals. There'll be a bit more intensity in it Thursday night, alright?
Number DavFit_CW.
That's it.
DavFit by Fit, PT and Performance Coach.
That's it, we wind it down. 20 seconds to go. That's it, well done. Thanks for coming along again tonight. Say drop over to the YouTube channel to find that video again. And we'll see you Thursday night. Okay, thanks very much. That's it.